The other night, after the kids were finally in bed, a couple that I work with, let's call them Anna and Leo, found themselves sitting in that familiar silence. Not the peaceful kind, the kind that hums in tension. Leo had just said, "You could have just asked me to help." And Anna, exhausted, said quietly, "That is the point. I don't want to have to ask." He didn't respond, and for a moment, she felt bad. Anna knows and recognizes that he works long hours, he loves his family, and he wants to do better. But she also knows something that he doesn't. That asking means that she is not just carrying what it is that she has to be doing, but carrying all the remembering, having all the tabs open. She wasn't angry about folding the laundry. She was angry about being the manager of life. And he, sitting across from her, wasn't angry about her frustration. He was hurt that his efforts didn't seem to count, to make a difference. Two people, same home, both overextended. One buried under invisible chaos, and the other under invisible pressure. And both feeling so very alone. Hi there! If this is your first time here, welcome to the Parenthood and Relationship Podcast. I'm your host, Markela Kaplani, a psychologist, a parenthood and relationship coach, and a parent myself. Together, we explore the transformative journey of parenthood and its profound impact on our relationship with ourselves, our partners, and our children, so that we can be present and show up as we envision without having to do more. Let's get into today's episode. Hi, and welcome back to the Parenthood and Relationship Podcast. Today, we're exploring the hidden cost of doing it all. Not just the exhaustion that you feel at the end of the day, but the invisible emotional labor that sits beneath it. Why it's not just about tasks or fairness. Why both partners often feel unseen, even if they're trying. And we're also looking into how understanding each other's weight, hers and his, might be one of the most healing steps in modern parenthood. Because here's the truth. It's not that one of you is not carrying enough. It's that both of you are carrying differently, and neither of you feels met. So let's start here. When we talk about mental load, we often picture a mom who is juggling everything, remembering birthdays, snacks, vaccines, homework, groceries, the dentist appointments, the socks that mysteriously disappear in the laundry. But underneath that list, there is something much deeper. It's the anticipation of needs, the constant background hum of what ifs. What if he forgets? What if she's cold at recess? What if he feels left out tomorrow? It's this emotional vigilance that's disguised as organization. And for many mothers, that vigilance comes from conditioning. Generations of women trained to keep the emotional temperature of the home steady. You might have grown up, for example, watching your mom do it all because she couldn't relax unless she did. And so inevitably, you learned that love equals service. That peace comes when everything is okay, when everyone else is okay. But this is where it gets tricky. When love turns into hyper-responsibility, it stops feeling like love. It starts feeling like pressure, whether we openly admit it or not. And then, ironically, it breeds resentment, the very opposite of connection. Now, the father's silent pressure. Let's flip the lens for a moment. Because while moms often carry the invisible labor, many fathers carry invisible expectation. You see, men are often taught that their worth is measured in protection and in providing. That to be a good partner and father means to handle it, to never fall apart, to fix it, to produce, to hold. And so when a dad comes home and feels his partner's exhaustion, the sighs, the tension, the edge, all very excusable. But what he hears isn't just frustration. He hears failure. Failure to protect her from this weight. Failure to make her happy. failure to be enough. And when that shame enters the room, it doesn't come saying, I feel ashamed. It comes in saying, I'm tired too. Or, you think I'm not trying? Or sometimes silence. Because that is how men are taught to handle pressure, to internalize it, to rationalize it, or to just numb it. And while she feels unseen in her doing, he feels unseen in his trying. So what we have here isn't a lazy partner or an over-functioning one. We have two nervous systems that are in survival mode. One is in overdrive, scanning, managing, over-caring. The other is in shutdown, absorbing stress, holding it in, trying not to make it worse. And neither is truly resting. This is the cost of doing it all. Love becomes logistics. Connection becomes coordination. And the home, the place that's meant to be a refuge, it starts feeling like a workplace where everyone is on the edge of burnout. What we mean when we say mental load, therefore, it's about meaning. For mothers, it's a replay of what they saw growing up. Women who kept the family alive through control, self-sacrifice, or silence. For fathers, it's often inherited pride. Men who proved their worth through work, stoicism, or success. Different scripts, same goal, to earn belonging. That is why when conflict arises, both partners reach for old roles without even realizing it. She tries to take charge because she feels safest when things are under control. He, on the other hand, withdraws because he feels safest when emotions are contained. Neither is wrong. Both are acting from programming. But that programming doesn't serve love. It serves survival. And what parenthood does, more than any other life change, more than any other life stage, is that it exposes these survival patterns. It brings the child you once were into the room again. The one who learned to keep the peace. The one who learned how to perform, how to protect. And suddenly, you're not just parenting your child, you're reparenting yourself. Here's the thing. When emotional labor goes unseen, love starts feeling one-sided, even if it isn't. And when invisible pressure goes unspoken, efforts start feeling pointless, even if they aren't. Both of these lead to disconnection, and disconnection left unchecked becomes resentment. Resentment erodes intimacy faster than anything else. Not because you stop loving each other, but because you start feeling alone in love. And this cost isn't just yours and your partner's, I mean. It's also your children's. Your children grow up watching not just what you say, but how you relate. They absorb how care is given, how frustration is handled, how repair is made. They learn whether love means closeness or depletion. So yes, this is about chores and teamwork and parenting, but it's also about legacy. The patterns you name are ones your child won't have to carry, won't have to repeat. The conversations you start are the ones they won't have to fight for in therapy 30 years from now. So now let's get to talking. Let's see what actually helps. And as I've said before, we're not going to go into grand gestures. I'm all about looking at small, consistent recalibrations. Number one, let's call it what it is. Together, sit down, not in the heat of the moment, but when things are calm, and name the invisible load. Use phrases like, what do you find yourself thinking about that I might not realize you're carrying? What worries you in the background that I may not see? Naming the unseen gives it form. Once something has form, it can be shared. Number two, trade one invisible task. Each partner picks this one thing that the other does, mentally or emotionally, and takes over, end to end. If she is the one who tracks kids' appointments, he does this for a month. reminders, logistics, communication. If he is the one who manages the finances, she handles this for a month. Bills, planning, follow-ups. This will help both of you develop empathy for what the other one has been silently doing. Because we can never understand something unless we see it in practice. And that's not because we're selfish. It's just human nature. We're not ungrateful. We are just so consumed by all the things that we are doing in daily life that it becomes very difficult to put ourselves in someone else's position. And even if we do, if we haven't experienced this specific thing in some other setting or something similar, it is still going to be extremely difficult to feel how they feel. Let alone the fact that everyone has different ways of coping, different tolerance levels, different ways of interpreting things, right? Number 3 is to shift from asking for help to asking for ownership. When I say, "Can you help me?" this implies that this is my job and I'm handing it over. But instead, what if I say, "Can we split this?" Or, "Which part feels lighter for you to take on fully?" Language matters. Shared ownership feels different from delegated assistance. Think about it. Number 4 is to create a no guilt pause. Agree on one cue, a phrase, a gesture that is supposed to mean, "I need a minute to reset." It could be a tap on the shoulder or a particular look. The rules are no questions, no judgment. It could mean that I'm at full capacity. It could mean I need a timeout. You honor it for each other. That is how you model emotional safety. Number 5, remember that appreciation is emotional oxygen. Every time you say, "I see you," something in your partner exhales. Don't wait for perfection. Notice effort. Because no matter how enlightened we think we are, we all still need to know that our effort matters. And let me make another little note here. Sometimes we withhold showing our appreciation because we think they're not there yet. Or there's fear in us. I don't trust that he or she is there yet. I don't trust that this is permanent. So I am going to withhold, and this is usually a very unconscious thought, but think about it. Maybe you can catch yourself saying that, thinking that, feeling that. I don't want to say too much because I might jinx it. I don't want to say too much because they might think they're already there and they might stop doing what it is that they're doing. I want to wait until I can trust that I can truly, truly rely and let go. And I get it. I get where the logic is coming from. I get that you've had to wait for a long time to see your partner do X, Y, Z, and that this may have created a feeling of unsafety. I can't rely on you. So they can't do something once or twice and make you suddenly believe that this is going to keep on happening, suddenly rebuild that trust. But trust me when I say that you need to take a leap of faith, and that if you do, this is going to reward you. They are going to reward you. Because when they know that their effort has been seen, it gives them the strength to go on and try to do it again. So, if I may, I would like to wrap this up by extending a word to each of you. To my lovely moms listening, you don't have to earn rest. You don't have to carry proof of your worth in the shape of everyone else's comfort. Sometimes, the most revolutionary thing you can do for your family is to do less and to let them rise in order to meet you. And to the dads listening, you're not failing because you can't fix it all. You're not invisible. Your presence matters more than your solutions. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is to say, "I'm here, and while I don't know how to help, I want to understand." And to the both of you, love isn't about who does more. It is about who shows up when it matters. The goal isn't equality, it's empathy. The weight we carry as parents isn't the weight of chores or responsibilities. It's the weight of meaning, of being someone's anchor while trying not to drown ourselves. But what if doing it all isn't the measure of love? What if the real measure is how willingly we put things down? How courageously we say, I trust you enough to carry this with me. Because that's what partnership is. It's not balance, but about shared gravity. If this episode spoke to you, I invite you to take this a step deeper. To do that, you can download my Reconnection Roadmap, which helps you uncover where the emotional labor, teamwork, and appreciation might have quietly gone missing in your relationship. And most importantly, how to bring it back step by step. And if you would like a chance to reset, to have some insight, to reflect, and an exclusive tool that pairs nicely with this episode, you can get on my newsletter, the Sunday Reconnect. You will find the links to all of this in the show notes, but you can also go to markelakaplani.com/resources. Ooh, and by the way, I'm in the process of creating this amazing resource that fits perfectly with this episode. And that is a relationship load audit. This is a tool that will help you see what you're both carrying, what each of you is carrying, and it will help you understand deeply each other's weight so that then you can finally share it. Maybe not equally, but at least share some of it, and most importantly, appreciate one another. That is also going to be at markelakaplani.com/resources very, very soon. So make sure you go check it out. As always, thank you for showing up, for doing this messy, beautiful, necessary work of loving consciously. You are the change that your family is going to feel for generations to come. I'll see you next Sunday. Until then, take a breath, let something down, and allow yourself to rest. You are already doing an amazing job. Bye-bye.